swore on my tongue. I came with a wound in my hand. I came with a cup of clear doctrine and one little grain of sand. I did not deny the gospel, I did not spit on the creed. I only taught the wound to become the judge of need. One drop, one word, one beautiful stain. One drop, one word, let grace learn pain. I am the priest of the structure. I am the Christ of the street. I am the soulmate, sociological. I am salvation with material feet. First came hunger, first came blood, first came children with their faces in mud. First came masters, first came chains, first came mothers counting unmarked graves. Yes, the wound was righteous, yes, the cry was real, yes, the poor were beloved, yes, the tyrant should kneel. Then I entered softly, not beast, not blade, but a gloss in the margin where doctrine decayed. I kept the word shining, I kept the cup bright. I called it compassion when I murdered the height. I took Exodus captive, I took justice by throat. I stitched Marx into Moses and called it a note. I called reception slavery, I called tradition a chain. I made the student prophet through the grammar of pain. No more wisdom handed, no more truth received. Dialogue became awakening. The questioner believed. I said sin is the system, I said grace is revolt. I said truth is the action that tightens the bolt. One drop in the water, one wound on the throne, one class in the chalice, one earth swallow in stone. One word in the doctrine, one spark in the straw. One mercy made faction, one hunger made law. The prayer still sounded, the vestments still shone, but the poison went downward and called the cup its no grace but revolt, no truth but praxis when the class struggle bolts. One drop, one word, one beautiful stain. One drop, one word.
Left.
I said faith is fidelity to history's plan. I said hope is the future constructed by man. I said love your class brother. I said name the foe. I said after the victory charity may flow.
The soul became function, the person became place, the neighbor became position, the face became class. No father, no daughter, no sinner, no saint, only owners unknown and no war-colored paint.
The poor became oracle, the rich became stain, the church became tribunal, the host became grain.
Charity was accused of delaying the knife, mercy was denounced as bourgeois afterlife.
Justice stopped rendering the due to each one. Justice became seizure when the faction had won. Solidarity narrowed from the whole to the side. The common good withered, the partisan bride came robed as compassion, came veiled as the poor, but beneath the white garment was hunger for more. I am the drop in the cup, you are the rod in the vein. I am the worm in the bread, my feet on baptized pain. Drag the kingdom down, the kingdom is not yours to drag. Nail the sky to the street, the sky is not your flag. No sin but structure, then who repents? No grace but revolt, then who is cleansed? No truth but praxis, then truth is slain. I am liberation, you are captivity, wearing chains. Praxis, class, structure, mass, future, seizure, mercy, class. There is no truth outside the act. There is no soul outside the fact. There is no sin but domination. There is no grace but mobilization. There is no church but the organized cry. There is no heaven but the earth made high. There is no person, there is only role. There is no form, there is only whole. And who wrote the wound into law?
Who made the poor your mask?
Who taught compassion to accuse?
Who made the altar ask
For what the knife would choose?
Who stole the prophet's thunder
And sold it to the cell?
Who took the cry for justice
And bent it toward hell?
Who bent the order
Where the now claim the eternal?
Who crowned delusion
Where being once stood firm? One drop, one word, one wound enthroned. One cup, one lie, one church overthrown. The cup was deep, the drop was small. The wound stood crowned in the house of all. The poor were used, the soul was bent. The church was turned to instruments. But beneath the slogans, beneath the plan, a whisper returned to the heart of man. No gnosis in the committee, no heaven in the plan, no sacrament of envy, no second made man, no Eucharist of hatred, no liturgy of rage, no Christ reduced to pressure on an economic page, no orthodoxy sentenced by revolutionary heat, no charity postponed until the enemy's defeat, no justice without order, no mercy without truth, no option for the poor that devours the root. Matter is not master, history is not lore. The soul is not an echo of the factory floor. The body is not merely a site where power person is not clay under structural feet. Hail the mystery, count the beats, name the sorrow, crush the seeds, joyful, sorrowful, glorious flame, light through the body, Christ in the name. Not class conscious vision, not ideological sight, but the life of the logos, remembered in light. Break down the spook, break the spell, call the soul back from the structure's hell. Beats like thunder, mercy like fire, heart pierced open above desire. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, mercy on me, a sinner in sod. Not the class made holy, not the wound made throne. The soul comes home when it kneels alone. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me where the false lights try. Have mercy on me, not the system alone. Have mercy on me in blood and bone.
The stillness descended where the slogans screamed. The heart found a silence no theory had dreamed. No praxis could purchase it, no faction could own. No dialectic entered the prayer of the alone. Then mercy came bleeding from the side and the thorn, not manufactured future but love cruciform. For the sake of a sorrowful passion, the wounded world cried. The false red dawn flickered, the spook stepped aside. Jesus, I trust in you, not history's law. Jesus, I trust in you, not the clenched red jaw. Jesus, I trust in you, not the theory of chains. Jesus, I trust in you, where the sacred heart reigns. The false voice says structure, class, seizure, mass. The heart says reparation, mercy, conversion, grace. The false voice says enemy, system, history, fire. The heart says person, neighbor, body, desire. Oh heart, not abstract, oh not a sign. Oh furnace of charity, oh human divine. Oh heart pierced open where the spear made room. Burn out the poison, break open the tomb. Reparation ends what ideology tore. Being reclaimed sits undivided height once more. Break down the spook, break the spell, call the soul back from the structure's hell. Beats like thunder, mercy like fire, heart pierced open above desire. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, mercy on me, a sinner in sod. No red eschaton, no engineered dawn, no kingdom manufactured when the king is gone. No soul made horizontal, no heaven dragged below. No gospel after Marx where living waters slow. The poor are beloved,
Not raw material,
the wound must be healed.
not made imperial.
The body is not prison,
The soul is not class, the real is not rewritten when the ages pass. Faith is not history's harness, hope is not a plan. Charity is wider than the struggle of man. Justice for the hungry, judgment for the proud, mercy for the captive, truth spoken aloud. Let the structures be judged, let the hungry be fed, let the tyrant be named, let the captive be led. But let not the cure become the disease, let not the poor be bent to theories. Hard and form a line beyond the temporal claim. Invocation holds where the spook once reigned. The rosary turned, the still prayer breathed, the mercy fell, the heart still bleeds. The drop was named, the cup measure symmetry. Being rises whole from fractured history. One beat, one breath, one pierced heart bright, one cup, one truth, one soul, one light. The worst kind of heretic is the one who, while teaching mostly true Catholic doctrine, adds a word of heresy, like a drop of poison in a cup of water.